The article I've chosen to discuss is titled Assessment Through the Student's Eyes and is written by Rick Stiggins. Stiggins is founder and director of the ETS Assessment Training Institute, which was created to provide professional development and assessment for teachers and school administrators. It teaches people to create high-quality assessments, as well as how to use them in a way that fosters student success. In this article, Stiggins discussed how the role of assessment in schools has changed from a process of ranking students in order of their achievement to strategies that are more focused on helping all students succeed in meeting standards. The new vision of assessment emphasizes and promotes the motivation, confidence, and learning potential that every student has. In order to improve assessment in schools, Stiggins argued that we need to look at the point of view of the students, who are both assessment winners and assessment losers. We need to include assessments that support learning instead of relying solely on assessments that validate learning. This concept is called assessment for learning. Assessments need to be evaluated based on the evidence they provide, as well as the effect they have on the future learning of the student. Stiggins states that even the most valid and reliable assessment cannot be regarded as high quality if it causes the student to give up. Therefore, by keeping students focused and confident in their progress, even when setbacks occur, assessment experiences can enrich the learning process. These ideas are related to the Ministry of Education policy as outlined in the Growing Success document. It states that a student's interest in learning and the belief that they can learn are critical to their success. There are essential steps listed as part of the assessment for learning that teachers need to follow. These include planning assessment concurrently that is incorporated with instruction, provide learning goals and success criteria with students at the outset of learning so students and the teacher have a common understanding, use a variety of assessment strategies to gather information about student learning before, during, and at the end of instruction. Give and receive specific and timely feedback. Teachers also need to use assessment as a way to inform instruction, to guide next steps, and to help students monitor their progress. They must help students build their peer and self-assessment skills, and finally analyze evidence of learning. The role of assessment is critical in teaching and learning, and the Growing Success document highlights the use of assessment for learning as a way of increasing student engagement and commitment to their own learning. The ideas that Stiggins brought forward relate to my experience as a student because when I went through high school, assessment strategies were mostly based on ranking students in order of their achievement. I always did poorly in math because I really struggled with the tests. Even though testing can be considered a valid assessment tool, my entire grade was based on tests, and it caused me to give up on myself because I continued to fail and had no other opportunity to change my grade. I can completely relate to Stiggins' argument that we need to look at the student's point of view to improve assessment, because I have been an assessment winner and an assessment loser. As a teacher candidate, I continually try to promote confidence in my students by providing timely and constructive feedback, and by clearly outlining the success criteria so they know what to expect and what they need to do to succeed. The ideas that Stiggins brings forward will impact my future teaching practice as I am now even more focused on developing assessments that allow students to believe in themselves, and I'm re-evaluating the assessment strategies I have used thus far. I am also thinking about the steps I can take for the students having difficulty and how I can get them back on track. I want to prevent students from feeling that failure is inevitable by trying some of the strategies that were mentioned in the article. An example of this would be to set students up for success by providing them with sample work to analyze and discuss, and then allow them to be involved in the process of developing the rubric. My goal is to always support the learning process of my students so they can have a positive response to assessment results. I aim to promote the winning streaks that Stiggins discussed, so students can say, I understand, I choose to keep trying, and I can handle this.